3, 2, 1. Hola, hola, ¿cómo estamos? Bienvenidos aquí a Pit Boxing, aquí con Jimmy James diciendo la verdad del boxeo. Y tenemos a nada menos que a Raeese, Aleem, un buen boxeador, un boxeador que tiene 18 peleas y 12 victorias vía KO, y un boxeador muy peligroso, invicto de Estados Unidos. ¿Cómo estamos? How you doing, Raeese? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing pretty good.
And am I saying your name well? ¿Estoy diciendo tu nombre bien? Or Raeese, is that your? Am I saying it well? I want
Yeah,
to make
yeah. No,
sure.
you saying it good. You got it, Raeese. Yep, you got it.
All right, gotcha. Perfect. Um, so there's a lot of you are one of the you're an undefeated fighter. I've seen a few of your fights. I saw you against Big Pasillas, and you seem like a very good fighter. Um, what was your toughest fight so far? Let me repeat that in Spanish real quick. Es muy buen boxeador y le pregunté cuál fue su pelea más difícil. Go ahead.
My toughest fight would probably have to be the Vic Pasillas fight, my last opponent.
Ujú. Dice que Big Pasillas fue su oponente más difícil. Uh, it seems like everybody is taking hard challenges in your division. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of good boxers there who are taking very tough challenges. Is there any boxer who's willing right now in that division in 122 to step with you? ¿Hay algún boxeador que esté dispuesto a pelear contigo en 122?
Uh, we're we want the big fights. We tried going after Stephen Fulton, but I guess he's set to fight Brandon Figueroa or Figueroa.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I'm hoping. I want to get the winner of them. I just want to fight. The champions. Maybe me and Roman fight. That'd be a good matchup. I'd like that fight. I would really like to fight Akhmaliev, MJ. I thought I
Mhm.
was his mandatory, but he ain't coming to the table. He's on another network, but I would love to make that fight happen too.
Ujú. Dice que le gustaría pelear contra Figueroa o Fulton también, son boxeadores que quiere pelear. También le gustaría pelear con Akhmaliev también, que es su mandatoria, pero bueno, no sabe qué pasó exactamente. La pregunta es, ¿crees que Akhmaliev tiene miedo de ti? You think a boxer like Akhmaliev, because it seems like everybody's been kind of, like Fulton had some tough fights against Angelo Leo.
Mhm.
Brandon Rio, Brandon Figueroa had a difficult fight with what's his name,
Louis Neri.
Luis Neri. Uh, but do you think that Akhmaliev might not want to face you? ¿Crees que a lo mejor Akhmaliev no quiere pelear contra ti?
Wait, who might not want to face me?
Yeah, Akhmaliev, because he hasn't seemed like he's fought anybody after fighting Roman. He seems like he's not fighting anybody, but everybody else is fighting each other.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I was supposed to be his mandatory, so I really don't think he wants to fight me. I would love that fight. He's a southpaw fighter. He's a hard hitter. He's a champion. I would love that fight. I think I win that fight for sure. I don't. I think the only way I get that fight, I have to force it. So I gotta keep winning belts. And I have to force that fight. But
Mhm.
it'll happen eventually.
Dice que tiene que forzar esa pelea, dice que Akhmaliev probablemente no quiere con él y sabe que lo va a ganar si se enfrenta contra él. I really do believe que that you will beat Akhmaliev if you fight him. No, I have no doubt about that. Your style is really good. Creo que su estilo es muy bueno. Creo que gana Akhmaliev. Out of all the fighters in your division, who's the most dangerous one? ¿Cuál es el boxeador más difícil? ¿Cuál crees que es el boxeador más difícil de vencer? Who's the most dangerous one out of your fighters?
The most dangerous one I would have to say for sure would be Stephen Fulton, which is
Okay.
why I want him. I want to fight
Mhm.
him now. But by far, he has fast hands, fast feet, really high boxing IQ. He's athletic. He's diverse. So he's a great fighter. I'd say he poses the biggest threat in the division.
Dice que el más difícil para él es Fulton, dice que le encantaría pelear contra él ahora mismo, y que posee mucho peligro en la división. And that's something that we like to hear, because you trying to fight Fulton, a lot of fighters, they see challenges like that, and they don't want to fight the best, and you are willing to step with Fulton, which we agree he's probably the best in the division. Estamos de acuerdo que es el más difícil y quiere pelear. Es un pitbull. You're a real pitbull. We have a definition here of pitbull and poodle, and you're a pitbull. Poodles, they don't want to fight the best, but pitbulls do, and that's really good. Do you think you will get the winner of Figueroa versus Fulton? ¿Crees que vas a conseguir el ganador de los dos, Fulton contra Figueroa?
Yeah, I do think I get the winner. I'm hoping to fight in August. I'm hoping to get a big fight in August. Do my thing, and I would love to get the winner of Figueroa Fulton. I should be next. I don't see why not. So I believe that's what's gonna happen.
Okay. Dice que sí, que él piensa que va a conseguir la pelea del ganador de Figueroa contra Fulton. There's other two fighters. What do you think about them? One is Diego Castro, and the other one is Michael Conlan, who are also in your division as well. How do you rate those two fighters? ¿Cómo consideras a Conlan y a Diego Castro en tu división?
Two really good fighters. They're ranked in the top 5, top 10 and everything. So everybody. The division is stacked. There's a lot of great fights that can be made. There's a lot of great fighters. I believe I'm the best in the division. So really it doesn't matter who you put in front of me. I'm gonna do my thing and I'm gonna win.
Dice que le da igual que le ponga la división, mientras que está ahí, lo va a ganar. Hay mucho talento en la división y está dispuesto a pelear con cualquiera de ellos. When it comes down to, 122 is a very, like you said, is a very deep division, and it's grown real quick. In the past 2 years, it's gone crazy. I don't even think I paid attention to 122 before this whole deal of Fulton, Figueroa started to come in. What do you think was happening before? Because nobody was unifying. Nadie estaba haciendo nada antes que vosotros vinisteis. Y Ray Vargas wasn't doing anything. Navarrete wasn't doing anything. What do you think was going on there? ¿Por qué crees que no estaban unificando? They were unifying.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Because those are the fighters you named. Those are great fighters. But, it's like when the champions fight the champions, that's when you get the explosive fights and stuff. And I'm not sure, what changed in the division, why it got so exciting. But I'm happy, it's like an exciting time for boxing, especially in my division.
Sí. Dice que no sé lo que pasó, pero ahora todo el mundo está excitado de todo lo que está pasando en la división y ahora pues se puede enfrentar contra los mejores. And that's really good because 122 was basically boring. 122 era aburrido antes de que vinisteis vosotros. It was really boring before you guys came. Okay. And as far as your how would you consider yourself as a boxer? ¿Cómo te consideras tú como un boxeador? What style of boxing do you think you have? You seem like you have pressure. Pareces un boxeador de presión. Pero ¿qué estilo crees que tienes tú? What type of style do you think you have?
I'd say I'm an aggressive, slick boxer puncher. But I'm diverse. I can do more than one thing. I can counterpunch. I can, fight in the trenches. I can box. But I like to impose my will also. I'm getting in there and I want to hurt you. I'm trying to stop you. Period.
Yeah, I can see that from your last fight for sure. Yeah, dice que quiere pararte, quiere destruirte, pone presión, pero tiene diversidad, sabe cómo moverse, sabe cómo boxear, puede técnicamente hacerlo todo. Realistically, right now, till you get those fights, till you get the fights that you want, o sea, realisticamente desde consiga las peleas que quiere, who do you see? Who if you don't get one of those fights with one of the Figueroas or Fultons, because they will have other mandatories too, like Diego Castro, or they might not choose you directly, but a lo mejor no te eligen a ti directamente. Who would you also like to fight against in case you couldn't get that fight?
Well, the smartest fight right now is fighting Roman and beating Roman. That's he's a great fighter, great champion. But that's the smartest fight right now. He just fought on the Figueroa undercard. But that's probably the smartest fight to make right now.
Ujú. Dice probablemente que todas las peleas que él quiere, la que probablemente puede conseguir ahora mismo es la de Daniel Roman y sería una muy buena pelea. That would be actually a very good fight. I think you will beat Roman also. I think your style will beat Roman. Creo que él también, el estilo que tiene, vencería a Roman, que es un buen boxeador.
I mean, I honestly think I would stop Roman. He's never been stopped. He's a great fighter, but I
Ujú,
honestly believe if I get in there and do right what Raeese Aleem does, I
ujú.
believe that I get that stoppage.
Él piensa que él puede parar a Daniel Román y lo puede conseguir. Yeah, I think your style is very difficult to crack. I watch a lot of your videos and you're good, man. Eres un buen boxeador. He's good. You're good. You're gonna be a hard bone to crack for sure. That's for sure. All right, so vamos a hablar de otras peleas que están bien. Let's talk about other fights that are coming up too. Um, what do you think of that announcement between Errol Spence Jr. and Manny Pacquiao? And what do you have winning? ¿Quién crees que gana esa pelea?
Oh man, see, I'm a Pacquiao fan. I've always been a Pacquiao fan. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and Spence, he had the car accident and came back and fought and won, and that's good for him. Uh, I I think Spence is actually the favorite. I'm pulling Pacquiao. I'm going with Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao wins the fight. Just
Okay.
he's been in this situation so many times. He's still at a extremely high level,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of want Pacquiao to win it.
Okay. Dice que es fan de Pacquiao, pero también es fan de Spence. Después de su accidente se recuperó, pero que él piensa que Manny Pacquiao va a ganar la pelea. There's actually a lot of people who actually believe that Manny Pacquiao will win that fight. Um, would you think it's going to be by unanimous decision or stoppage? How do you see that fight?
I would say by decision. I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
think Pacquiao's capable of the stoppage, but I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Spence is he's been tested. He's a true champion. I don't think he'd be going anywhere. If Pacquiao wins, it'd have to be by decision.
Sí, dice que si Pacquiao gana será por edición, no lo ve parándose. Everybody in that division is kind of afraid, and I hate to say this, of Terence Crawford. Nobody wants to fight Terence Crawford. Nadie quiere pelear con
No,
Terence Crawford. ¿Por qué crees que? Why do you think that is?
I'm a big Crawford fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not real sure. Like Spence was talking about like a 80-20 split. Like that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
Crawford's. Like I think Spence is saying that because he doesn't really want to fight him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the best should fight the best. This is an exciting time for boxing. Let's give the fans what they really want. But Crawford has definitely been avoided for sure. He might have to move up, to get bigger
Yeah.
fights. So
Está diciendo que Errol Spence, obviamente, está pidiendo 80-20 para Crawford. Eso es una señal para él que no quiere la pelea y obviamente no entiende por qué no pelearía contra él. Dice que los mejores se tienen que enfrentar contra los mejores. Estamos totalmente de acuerdo con eso. We believe the best should fight the best for sure as boxing fans. And we don't like this sort of, playing games and, not unifying, which really sucks for the sport. No es bueno para el deporte cuando eso pasa. Eh, and what do you think of the situation? Because everybody was willing to see undisputed in heavyweight. We wanted to see, Tyson Fury versus uh, this guy, Anthony Joshua. But Anthony Joshua seems like he doesn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight Deontay Wilder. He doesn't want to fight Fury. For undisputed, what was going on? ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Por qué no se pelean?
Well, as far as I know, like him and Fury had came up with an agreement to fight, but Fury still has obligations to Wilder, for their trilogy. So I feel like that's what didn't cause that fight to happen. But you're right, like Joshua doesn't want to fight Wilder. They could have made that fight happen before, but I think he kind of picks and chooses, kind of cherry picking instead of fighting the best, kind of cherry picking.
Okay, dice que él piensa que Anthony Joshua y Fury no se hizo por el contrato que tuvieron con Deontay Wilder, pero a la misma vez que Deontay Wilder y Joshua tendrían que haber peleado ahora y tardó mucho tiempo. They were like 3 years and didn't 4 years, and it seems like Joshua didn't want to fight, Wilder. That's how it is. He was ducking him pretty much. Parece que lo estaba evitando. So here's another one for you. Esto es otra para ti, and this is interesting because we have we like fighters who are always there's avoided fighters, and we try to give respect to avoided fighters because it sucks when they kind of truce against you, and they put these other fighters, they blow them up, but they're not fighting the best in their division. No, no, algunos boxeadores que los inflan, pero no pelean contra los mejores. What do you think is the situation? A lot of people say, for example, a boxer like Demetrius Andrade sucks or is really bad, and they but Canelo Alvarez never wanted to fight him. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez nunca quería pelear con Demetrius Andrade. Why do you think that do you think Canelo avoids certain styles specifically from the United States? ¿Crees que Canelo evita boxear Estados Unidos?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you kind of look at the track record, it kind of speaks for itself. So, it's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of what the evidence says. It's like he doesn't do that good with boxers, particularly from the United States. A boxer from England or whatever, or the UK. Like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not like a boxer from the States. So I definitely think he kind of avoids them for sure.
Dice que él piensa que Canelo Álvarez evita boxeadores de Estados Unidos, dice que no pelean igual que los ingleses, que no pelean, son mucho más técnicos, mejores, y que él ve que desde luego está evitando. And do you think in general, because there's a lot of fighters who are avoiding American boxers, even some Americans avoid each other too,
yeah.
but generally speaking, there's a lot of boxers who avoid specifically American fighters. Do you think that's a good thing for sport? ¿Es bueno que eviten a boxeadores de Estados Unidos en el deporte?
Well, I think it says something about fighters from the States, like whatever that may be. It kind of sucks, but it just kind of is what it is,
Sí, dice que no sabe por qué, pero aparentemente eso es lo que él piensa que está pasando. Están evitando a boxeadores de Estados Unidos. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What is your favorite boxer? What boxer did you grow up with? And what was your favorite? ¿Cuál es tu boxeador favorito?
So I grew up, with Tyson and stuff like that, so I remember seeing Tyson and stuff, but I'd say my favorite fighter would be Marvin Hagler, rest in peace. Okay. But, even the fact that he changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler because he didn't get the respect that he felt he deserved. And that's relatable. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't get the respect that I deserve in the boxing community. And I want to earn it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to earn it. I'm right there. But yeah, I'd say Marvin Hagler.
Dice que su boxeador favorito es Marvin Hagler. Dijo que incluso se relaciona con él, tuvo que cambiar su nombre y que él quiere tener ese respeto que tenía Marvin Hagler en la división. Very good fighter, Marvin Hagler, absolutely legend, and one of the best fighters, and definitely in the middleweight division for sure. What do you think as far as the boxing situation? Because it seems like a lot of us fans are kind of, we're very divided about boxing, and it seems like some are fleeing to UFC and other places because the best over there. Do you think if this can affect boxing if it continues? Like, ¿puede afectar esto el boxeo si los mejores no se enfrentan contra los mejores y se van a UFC, por ejemplo? What do you think?
Well, yeah, probably. You figure the next 5 years, a lot of boxers are going to be doing a lot of crossing over. They might not even come back to the sport because of that. Maybe they're avoided, but in the UFC, they can get the big fights and whatnot. But it's time will tell. But in the next 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens because UFC is kind of taking off like a rocket.
Dice que en UFC los mejores enfrentan con los mejores y que él puede ver en 5 años que mucha gente de boxeo se vaya a UFC y de repente pues ya no haya mejores peleas porque ganan muy dinero. What do you think of fights, actually, talking about that, from like Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Do you think that's good for the sport? ¿Que es bueno esas peleas para el deporte?
I mean, it's like I try to look at the silver lining. It's like, you know what? If it brings more eyes to the sport, cool, but the fact that it's Floyd fighting, it's like Floyd should fight an actual fighter. You know what I'm saying? If he's gonna step in the ring, because that's kind of like a slap in the face to the sport. If a YouTuber wants to come over to boxing, that's cool, but you can't fight a legend in an exhibition. So it's like,
yeah. And what would happen if he takes these chances? There could be a chance that he loses. He gets older. What would you think that would do to the sport?
you know, because it's exhibition, it's like I don't know. I don't know. You know,
Ujú,
I don't think it'd be good or bad for the sport. Actually, I think a lot of people would be happy. I'm a big Floyd fan. I'm from
ujú,
Michigan. He's from Michigan. But
ujú.
if Logan Paul or Jake Paul or whatever had knocked Floyd out, like it would actually be good for the sport.
So, ok. Dice que él piensa que la pelea entre Jake Paul y Floyd Mayweather o Logan Paul, o sea, no es buena necesariamente para el deporte, pero que obviamente no está de acuerdo con ese tipo de peleas porque respeta, Floyd es una leyenda, no debe enfrentarse contra youtubers, pero a la misma vez puede que eso sea bueno para el deporte. Pero el problema es, the problem is if he were to lose against a YouTuber at one point, si él pelease contra un YouTuber, a lot of people would criticize the boxers and start saying, you see, a YouTuber could beat a boxer, or
Oh
an
yeah.
MMA fighter could beat a boxer, and now y ahora están equivaliendo el UFC con boxeo. How would that affect the sport?
Oh damn. Yeah. That'd be like a black eye to the sport. Like damn. You know, a YouTuber gonna yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
hope that that doesn't happen. Yeah. Espero que no pase eso, obviamente, sería un ojo negro al deporte. And as far as right now, do you think you will, how long will you stay in at 122? And do you think you will eventually move up to 126?
yeah.
Where, ¿te ves moviéndote de 22 a 26 en el futuro, in the future?
Well, you know, the ultimate goal is to unify at 122, but you
Mhm.
know, being a avoided fighter, you know, it's kind of hard. So we'll see. You know, I win a few more belts, and we'll see what happens. But I might skip 126 and jump up to 130. You know,
Mhm.
because I miss lifting weights, and you know, I want to get the big money fight. So you know, it kind of depends. So we'll see what happens probably in the next 2 years.
Dice que quiere unificar en 122, pero que a lo mejor va a ser evitado y eso es un problema para él y para muchos boxeadores también. Y que dice que a lo mejor sí subiría a una división mayor. Dice que le gustaría subir a 130. Everybody, though, in 126 seems to not like to have to dance with Gary Russell Jr. It seems like a lot of fighters are avoiding him. You think a fight with Gary Russell Jr. would be an interesting thing for you? ¿Crees que una pelea contra Russell sería interesante para ti?
Yeah, southpaw, extremely fast hands, high boxing IQ. Man, very experienced fighter. That'd be a great fight. You know, to
Ujú.
step in the ring with a guy like that and to beat a fighter like that would be pretty amazing. So
Sí, dice que le gustaría una pelea contra él, sería una buena pelea en 126. And it seems like when Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez were there, they weren't really interested in
right,
Gary Russell Jr. He
right.
seems like he's very avoided. And
He
la
fights
gente
like
le...
one time a year. Like I don't know why he only fights once a year, but
Ujú.
yeah, he seems to be avoided for sure.
Dice que no sabe por qué pelea una vez solo al año, pero está evitado. Well, we had him here in the live, and he basically said that he wants to unify with a champion. He doesn't want to just defend, and
Mm.
that's the reason why he's not fighting. But everybody avoids him, unfortunately. Todo el mundo lo está evitando, desafortunadamente. And who do you think right now has the toughest division? Because 122 is very tough, but 154, for example, seems like that's
Yeah.
a pit hole. ¿Cuál es la división más difícil que es la más competitiva ahora mismo? Most competitive one. What do you think it is?
At one point in time, you know, it was 147. You know, but
Okay.
now I think you know it's probably 154. Yeah, probably
Ujú.
154, 122. Yeah, like one. Yeah.
Dice que 154, 154, 122 es la más competitiva. Él pensaba que 147, pero piensa que esas divisiones. And in that division, who wins? Brian Castaño, Jermell Charlo. Who wins that fight? ¿Quién gana esa
Ah,
pelea?
man. Good fight. I'm a big Charlo fan. You know, both of
Ujú.
the brothers. You know, so I'll be rocking with Charlo.
Ujú. Dice que él va a estar en favor de Charlo, obviamente. And how do you think that fight ends? ¿Cómo crees que acaba la pelea?
Hey, I think somebody might get stopped. You know, I see bombs being thrown. You know, some clean shots being landed. You know, so I think somebody gets dropped.
Ok, dice que él piensa que uno de los boxeadores va a acabar mal, pero you pretty much think that Charlo would probably beat Castaño for the
Yeah,
style.
yeah. I mean, I would hope so, only because I'm a Charlo fan. But yeah, I think so.
Dice que sí, que él piensa que sí. Ok, pues le damos muchas gracias. We really thank you for being here with us. It's been a very interesting chat. You're an upcoming really good fighter, and you should get more attention, and we'll try to bring attention to fighters like you. Estamos intentando traer la atención a boxeadores como tú, que quieren enfrentarse contra los mejores, un pitbull de verdad, que quiere pelear con todo lo que viene, ¿no? Y no hay ninguna excusa. There's no excuse why fighters should be avoiding you. Absolutely. No hay ninguna excusa porque te están evitando. Do you have somewhere where people could follow you? I mean, where's the best place donde la gente te puede seguir?
You can follow me on Instagram at Raeese Aleem Boxing.
Bueno, dice que en Instagram le podéis buscar en Raeese Aleem Boxing, y vamos a también poner unos vídeos en Golden Era también sobre él también para que vea. So we're also going to put some videos of you in Golden Era so they can also see your talent too, because you're, like I said, you're a very good fighter. So muchas gracias. And you want to say something to your new Latino fans that you might acquire after this?
Well, just continue to follow me in my career. We're making big things happen. We want the big fights. Each and every time I've stepped up, I've not only won, I've dominated. So that has to say something. So just pay attention, and we making big things happen.
Dice que seguirle, él quiere pelear contra mejores, él domina las peleas, quiere enseñar las mejores peleas y que le sigáis a él para que las cosas sucedan, ¿no? Well, así lo vamos a dejar. Muchas gracias a todo el mundo y os vemos aquí en Pitboxing, aquí con más información, más noticias, mejores análisis y aquí con mejor boxeo. Adiós a todo el mundo y seguimos adelante. Bye bye to everybody. You guys have a good day. Here's the champ.